Watching Kyle's unboxing videos again?
Yeah, he always finds the coolest... No way! A robot dog? Gotta ask where he got it.
Or use your Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Just draw a circle around the dog on your screen, and it shows you where to buy it right in the app.
Whoa, I just learned a new trick. And that for once, I beat Kyle to the next big thing.
Circle it, find it with the new Galaxy S24 Ultra and circle the search with Google. Get yours now at Samsung.com. Internet connection required. Results may vary based on visuals.
Bernigan, 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 ABCs. Welcome to the Bare Naked ABCs, where we talk about every store from 7-Eleven to Yankee Candle. I'm not going to list them all tonight, but I can tell you, and I can assure you that we will tell you that we love to go shopping. So tonight, joining me, I have Stefan and Heidi. Welcome.
I love shopping.
I bet you do.
I really do. I love shopping.
I like shopping, too.
Did my husband, I think he said no shit from the other room. Pretty sure he said that in response to my love for shopping.
So hello, podcast listeners.
Hello, everybody.
We'll get going right off the bat on that one. And we don't have a Stefan.
We do have a Stefan. He's right there. I can see him. He's not a hologram.
Wait a minute. I'm here and I'm listening to the song and I can't even pause it.
I'm here. I swear to God.
Okay. Well, we don't have an Aaron. We have a Stefan, but he's not mentally with us for a few more minutes as he listens to the song.
Not for him, really. Who's Aaron? Who's this Aaron guy?
He'll be back next week.
Oh.
No, the correct answer was, who is this Jeff guy? Because he's been missing for a long time.
He's trapped in Florida right now.
Yes.
Did you see his picture that he put up that he's hanging out in an arcade at the hotel because they've been locked down?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I did. And he was playing a music game.
Maybe if he'd committed to us, he wouldn't be trapped in Florida.
Exactly. Well, that's a hot take from Heidi. I don't know how to transition that to our guest because he has his own podcast where he gives his own hot takes along with Nick. But I'm welcoming JD back to join us about this song.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Just me, just flying solo tonight, though. No Nick with us.
No, I guess he didn't love this song, like one of the few songs. Yeah,
I told him what song it was, and he was like, honestly, he hung up on me during that phone call, and I'm like, I guess he's just not going to join us tonight.
He must be shopping.
Yeah.
Maybe he's shopping.
Nailed it.
This week's song, if you have never heard it before, is Shopping, and here is a quick snippet.
Well, you know that it's going to be alright when we go shopping. It's always let the shopping spree begin. Everybody wins.
This is one that just gets stuck in your head forever.
Yeah, I mean, major earworm.
It is a super earworm.
We'll discuss whether we like this earworm or whether it's like the earworm from Star Trek in a few minutes. But Star Trek 2, of course, Wrath of Khan. Or is it a babblefish? It could be either one. We'll have to figure it out. Maybe that's what we should rank it. How many babblefish you give this? Because it's a definite earworm. It's written by Hearn, Page, and Robertson. And we don't have Aaron, so I'll just tell us that it's from Everything to Everyone. The weird thing about this song is on E2E, if you had the extended disc, the Dolby extra disc, they put all kinds of acoustic songs on here that they were playing in session. This is one of the ones they did not include on that acoustic session.
Things that make you go,
There were only 3. This is one of the ones they left off.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know if this song would be easily played acoustically.
Right.
I don't disagree. It's very heavy in the kind of synth kind of sound.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it really could be. It'd be have a very, very different sound to it.
Although I don't know, I might like to hear Kevin doing it on piano.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
This is one of the songs that they really, really liked. Steven's only played it 4 times since he's left, but B&L played it 116 times.
Wow.
Matter of fact,
cool.
After Steven left from 2009 to 2014, it was a staple of their, and as a matter of fact, it was in the first concert that they played after he left when they played at Universal Studios.
I remember that. I remember, I think Kev takes leads on that.
He does.
Yeah, I remember that download.
And actually, for the appearance this week, I have a version of Kevin playing it live in 2012. It's different. It's a very different feel.
When I listened to this, the first thing that crossed my mind was Stranger Things season 2, when they're in the mall doing stuff. I mean, it's like it just brought back the whole 90s or 80s, mall thing for me. I like that. There's not a lot of songs I like. This one's kind of cool for me. I like it.
I mean, Stranger Things, you brought back Kate Bush. You couldn't have brought back B&L and played this during any time during that season? Seriously?
They were mostly 90s, weren't they?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. But still.
Yeah, see, Kate Bush was a goddess. I had her on repeat. I dated a guy with a Mazda Miata. Well, dated is a strong word. And he played that tape in his car so loud. Kate Bush, he was a huge Kate. This was back in, it had to be like 88, 89. And that was when I first fell in love with Kate Bush. So you do not, I'm like, Bare Naked Ladies are my guys, but man, they chose correctly.
Gosh, I am fighting back some inappropriate jokes right now.
For Kate Bush?
How you like the bush and
oh my Lanta, Stefan.
Well, you asked for it. It was like you literally asked.
Oh, Betsy. Oh.
It's so good that I can edit.
Yeah.
So much of this podcast.
But it's gonna be all right because I'm just gonna go shopping.
There you go.
Before you give us a breakdown,
I mean, I am the woman of the group, so obviously my maiden name was Shops with a Fist, or my Indian name was Shops with a Fist. Oh, it was from Mrs. Doubtfire. This lovely dances with wolf love team. What's your Indian name? Shops with a Fist. It's when Sally, she's wearing the this Navajo sweater.
I mean, it's appropriate considering some of the lines that are in this. But we'll get to that. Yeah. We should probably talk about the music first, though.
Sure.
So, Heidi, do you want to give us a breakdown?
Breakdown with Heidi. Wait, it's Heidi's breakdown. We haven't done that in a while, so I wanted to bring it back. I deserve my own theme song, by golly. So, shopping from everything to everyone, because we don't have Aaron. 2003. It's about 3 minutes, 34 seconds long. Runs pretty quick. It's a pretty fast song at about 160 beats per minute. It is in the key of E, though online in some places it said it was in the key of F#/G flat. Now that's just wrong. That's not correct. JD, are you in agreement, or are you just?
Oh, absolutely in agreement. I think it's insulting that they would say it's an F#.
Yeah, why? So, but it is in E major, but it starts on a 4 chord. So it goes. The form is chorus. So we get the chorus right up front. After a little vampy E. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the opening, Let My Love Open the Door. it had that kind of feel.
Yeah.
You know, let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. That song. Because I love that song. But so it starts with this little very soft vamp that grows and grows until it gets into the chorus. So then we get the regular form of the song. So we get the chorus, which is a 4-5-1 4-6-5 5-2-4-1 progression. Then we get into the verse, and the verse does come on the downbeat. You do have the key of the tonic chord in the key of E, and it goes through a very basic progression: 1-5-1-4-1-4 6 major 6, which is interesting, 1, and so it plays right around the tonic chord and the dominant chord, and the subdominant chord. So 1, 4, and 5. So 5 is a dominant chord, 4 is a subdominant chord, and 1 is a tonic chord, or the root chord. So it does
some gin with that,
and that's where it continues. So you get the chorus, then verse 1, then you get a chorus, then verse 2 and verse 3, then a chorus again, and an outro. But it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't go too goofy, except at the end of verse 1, where it goes into this F sharp minor, which is a 2 chord, to a 5 to a 1, where he goes, it's the where is it? So shut up and never stop. Let's shop till we drop. That part, it shifts down into that weird F sharp minor 2 key chord rather. So it's pretty straightforward. It's really a beat, which kind of makes sense. And I did see this many times on the E2E tour. So I remember like the shopping cart choreography and all the fun stuff. But that's the basic breakdown, friends. Basic breakdown. You're welcome. I'll be here all week. Order the fish.
So the introductory sound. I'm guessing that's just a synth, because I looked to see if it was the one where you can easily just kind of roll your fingers across it and change the notes. I don't remember what we called it, like the Continental or something like that. Constitution.
No, it's definitely just a synth.
It's just a synth, but it's beautiful playing.
It's pretty. It's some nice keyboard work.
Very nice keyboard work, yeah.
Then it disappears.
Well, I mean, it kind of does.
I think the song starts off really strong and fast. Very high energy right from the very
get-go. But it is, I'm listening again. This is very much like Let My Love Open the Door.
Oh, it is. It almost like fades in, the synth does. Like it's kind of like a twinkling.
It's arpeggios, and what it is it's taking the chords and so it's individualizing the chord and playing the notes of them up and down, which is arpeggiating. So you're separating the chord into the notes of the chord and playing them separately up and down. And that's what he's doing. And yeah, they totally stole that from.
It's very trippy.
It's very trippy.
But I think that goes very well with the music. Like, it's very diatonic. Diagenic, I mean.
Yeah, it's diatonic too. It stays within the key.
It wasn't what I meant to say, but it worked anyways. But
he stole it from Pete Townsend, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go. I want to talk about it. This song sounds simple, but it is not simple when it comes down to how many instruments are in this song.
No, that does not surprise me.
I don't know if you read the liner notes at all, Heidi, about this wonderful song.
I have not. They're right up there, though.
It is very hard to do because, as you can see, they are very, very tiny. But if I get on my magnifying glasses and look,
you're getting old.
No, like, dude, these are really small words.
You're getting old.
The reason I bring it up is they have a whole bunch of people on this. So we have Joel DeRuin on the violin. They have Charlie Bishart on the violin. They have Matt Soons on the viola. They have Larry Corbett on the cello. And then we have Blue Man Group playing the PVC tube percussion in the background.
Things we begin. Everybody wins. So shut up.
What? Really?
Yes.
They're in the notes.
They are actually in the notes.
That's
they
great.
give them credit and actually say thank you to Atlantic Recording Corporation for letting us have them on.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So that like all week long I was like, I hear this thing in the background. It sounds like Tyler's playing on the bongos with a stick, like with the drumsticks. That's actually Blue Man Group playing the PVC.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. Never seen them. They're a group that I've really always wanted to see.
That's pretty awesome. There's also Kevin uses like the harpsichord setting of the synth in there, and I love the like disco transfer in the middle. It's always la 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 la.
Yeah, it's kind of loungy.
And I remember in the concert that then Steven would be going back and forth with the audience. He'd be la 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 la, and you'd repeat after Steven in the concerts. There was some really, I forgot how creative the instrumentation is in this.
It is. Go ahead.
Well, I feel like I don't remember if it's that Orlando recording or if it's when I've seen them play this live, but they'll also do a thing where Kev will try to screw the band up by like scatting basically and try to do the most complicated scatting that he can do and see if everyone else when they sing it back can do it, like a skiddly diddly 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 doop ba doop or something like that. Oh yeah, it's signed and everything. Oh, that's pretty.
Oh yeah, I have a fine collection of signed that I got them signed, didn't buy them signed, people. So now I got to pull it out. Gotta pull it out.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Pulling it out, everybody. I love this album though. This is one of my favorite albums.
It's Nick's favorite album too, I believe.
Really? I don't know
at least
why.
BNL, yeah.
This album spoke to me in a lot of ways. Like I can't wait to get it to take it outside too. That's a great.
I like this album, but it was not my favorite. And to me, it actually, and people are going to hate me for saying it. To me, this was the shift, and for me, the downfall of BNL, where I started to feel like, oh, this wasn't Maroon, this wasn't Stunt, this wasn't Gordon. I felt like it was a lesser album than those.
Why do you feel that way? Like was it the topic shift? Was it the musical shift? Kind of all of the above? I
think, well, I mean, I hate to say it, but I have to say it. I think that this song was one of the songs that actually made me feel that way. I didn't really like this song back then. If you had been asking me to rate this song back when it first came out, I would have given it a 1. Like it was really low on my list. And the way they finished it with "Have You Seen My Love," I did not enjoy that song back then either. And so it left a sour taste in my mouth on the ending of both sides.
Interesting.
Now that being said, there were other songs on this album that I loved. So it was it just felt like Maroon for me was like almost the perfect album.
Yes.
And then to have this come afterwards, I was like, it's good.
Oh, are you kidding? I mean, you've got For You is on this. Maybe
I love For You. I've said it.
Celebrity, Next Time,
no,
Testing.
For me, it was very
down War on Drugs. Aluminum to some, aluminium to. I mean,
to the Brits.
Like this is a pretty solid album.
I'm honestly going to agree with Tracy. I think, well, maybe not to that extent. I think the highs on this album are high and the lows are a little low. I think because I agree that Maroon to me is damn near perfect, if not perfect.
I agree with you there, Katie. I agree.
Yeah, no one's discussing Maroon here. Everyone's in agreement that Maroon should be up on a pedestal.
Damn right.
But I think some of those songs you name, I'm like, those are some of my favorite songs. And then a couple I go, I mean, I don't remember the last time I listened to a couple of those. And so I agree. It became a little hit or miss. And then after this is Me Men. And then that was even more so in that direction. But Yeah, I don't know. I don't dislike the album at all. I think as a whole, it is very. It's a jumbled batch, but the highs are very high. I think Upside Down, I think, was my favorite on this album. Like that track is just killer.
So you're going to come back when we do Upside Down?
I'd love to. I'd love
years?
to. Yeah, right. Yeah. But I feel like Upside Down, at least topic wise, is a lot closer to Maroon's content than Shopping is. Upside Down is very relational, I think, on the whole, and this is very, if I remember, I mean, not to change from the music to the message, but like this is very political or societal, which is not something they had done a lot of. They had done, but not to this extent, I don't think.
They had, maybe. But this was that, like, on this album, they started to foray a little bit more into that. And I think that, like, they were doing that with Helicopters and a couple of songs on Maroon, but
yeah,
there was a little bit more of that on this album where they're like, yeah, let's keep going there. Mm-hmm. Like they have this song, they have Second Best, so they're definitely talking about it. And then of course War on Drugs is very powerful.
Yes. To say the least.
I can't wait to talk about that song.
Oh yeah, that's opening a can of worms there.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to point out one more credit that was given in the music, and I dug deep for this credit, and I could be wrong, but I want your opinions on this.
Did you reach the center of the earth with this dig?
I did actually. I think. We may have a new volcano in this part of Maine.
Nice.
So there is a credit for the vocals given to Yvonne Galagos.
Oh, Yvonne's on this?
And
town.
And so I'm thinking that must be like the female voice in the background. Now here's where it gets weird. Okay. I could not find anything anywhere on the internet for Yvonne. I'm like, okay, well, who would this Yvonne person be? And then it just happened, and I don't know how it happened, but I just happened to stumble upon a post by Kevin Hearn about his girlfriend, Yvonne, the mother of Havana.
Okay.
Now, I don't know.
I'm not tracking
that this is the same person, but it also wouldn't surprise me. Now, before I completely go off the rails, I want to prove that there actually might be something behind this. And I posted to our thing earlier. Can you guys all see my screen?
It's loading.
Tracy is not even supposed to be here today. It has
started screen sharing. There it is.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So this, if you look on the inside of the album, in the liner, you have these two mysterious women that show up in these pictures that are cut and spliced all over the place, and no reason, they're put in with the boys, but we have no idea. And as you can see, there's a big picture of her on the screen. The side over here, that is part of the picture that is in the layout, the liner notes. That's this mysterious girl that's all of a sudden in these pictures for no reason inside the liner notes. On the left-hand side, we have Yvonne, who is Havana's mother. If you look at the chin structure, the way she smiles, the nose, I would dare say that these are two women that are exactly the same with 15 years difference. I'm going to go down a little bit further.
What are you trying to prove?
I'm going to go down a little bit further.
Oh,
that this is the same exact person. Just a little bit of age difference. What I'm proving here,
what are you proving?
Is that Yvonne is Kevin Hearn's wife.
That is scandalous.
And that he placed her twice in the pictures, because we know that Kevin was one of the people that helped out with the pictures on this. He placed her into the pictures for this album.
Yeah. You can see that above the inserted picture into the liner notes that there's a little bit of white surrounding her, the upper part of her hair. That's definitely a photo that's cut out. But that looks like a professional photo.
Wait, did you say, her name is Yvonne?
Correct.
Yeah, his daughter's name is Havana.
Correct.
Right.
Money.
But I would be willing to bet that this lady that we see that's in the liner notes is a much younger version, is basically a younger Yvonne.
You might have had a modeling career at some point. You never know. She might have done a few commercials for.
If you look at the picture,
I don't know.
If you look at this one, the eyes are closer. I mean, they're a little more wrinkled here. I'm going to take that out but they are more wrinkled here, but they do look a lot more similar. One in other pictures. This one, she might just have her eyes really wide open.
Well, she's also laughing a lot harder in the other photo too.
But if you look at
there's a lot of laugh lines.
If you look at the chin and the dimples, and you look at the smile, it is a pretty close match.
Possibly.
And I can't see the ear. Oh, there we go. We got the ear there. She has the same type of ear shape as well.
Now we're going into like ear types. That's
and also the shape of her eyebrows. The shape of her eyebrows matches up as well.
Yeah, the little swoop at the end of the eyebrow, definitely.
So I dare to say that this is Kevin's. Well, I don't know if they ever got married, but girlfriend.
I don't think they did.
Good research, Tracy.
Is that a new feature in the podcast where you guys like kind of solve a mystery?
Yeah, we can be like Scooby-Doo. We can get a van and everything.
I'm guessing that would make me Velma, right? I mean, Heidi's got the Velma look going.
I was Velma a couple of years ago for Halloween with my whole family. We dressed the dog up as the Mystery Machine. Noah was, or Brianna
you dressed the dog
Shaggy.
up as the van?
I was Velma. Yeah, we did. We got him it was a van, and he wore the van. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah,
you didn't go for the obvious.
Shut
no
up.
Scooby-Doo?
Are you saying, am I the dog in this scenario?
No, I was saying the dog would play
That's
the
from Harry
dog.
Met Sally.
The dog should
Am
be
I the dog
Scooby-Doo.
in this scenario? No, I'm the dog.
Okay. It's your Halloween, man. Like...
Oh my Lanta.
So yeah, that was where I was going with that. That's pretty cool that Kevin has his girlfriend singing on this album.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I think the proof is there.
We just need Kevin on here to verify it, right?
I'm sure he's gonna love your detective work if you open with that.
He would totally love our detective work. Duh.
Why don't we get over to what this song is about?
Stop it. Duh.
Heidi, do you know for certain what this song is about?
I have a few theories.
Okay, you have theories. Okay.
I have theories.
JD, do you know for sure what this song's about?
I believe I do. Yes, I believe I remember from the research for our pod.
I thought so. So I'm going to have Stefan and Heidi guess and give their theories on what this song's about. And then we'll go and see how close you guys were with this. Go ahead, Heidi.
Nah, you go first.
Stefan, give us your theory.
Well, let me read the lyrics right now. Well, it's going to be all right. I think it's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Well, can you repeat all right enough times? 4 times. They said all right. I'm going to go shopping, la la la.
That may be a
hint. Shopping spree begins, wins, everybody wins. All right. So he probably cheated on this chick, and he's like, all right, to null and void everything, we're going to take you shopping to make amends for stuff, because that's what dudes do. It's never enough until you've got all the stuff. When going gets rough, shopping's somebody tough. Well, that's going to be all right. I think it's going to be all right. Boy, they say all right a lot in the song. It's always when we go shopping. La 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 la. All right, I don't know. It's so basically he's a bodyguard. He's pretty rough. He's he's looking after Whitney Houston. She has to go into the mall. He's shopping. It's like, the going gets rough when you're shopping with somebody tough, and they fall in love and la 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 la. There he goes.
I mean, he nailed it. He 100% perfect. Imagine if it was, though. It's like verbatim. That was the exact meaning.
Kevin just happened to go watch The Bodyguard and it's like, this music is shit. Let me write something.
I mean, come on. It'd be better if Bobby Brown was in this. I mean,
that was a little.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Heidi, what do you think this song is about?
So I think it could go a few ways. One, it's kind of light. Whoops. It's a fun song, but we know that nothing. Like there's an underlying. It could be as a result of. It could be very much a political statement that no matter what's going on in the world, whether it was post 9/11 or post, it could be reattributed, I think, in the last several years with the recession, and we'll just send everybody a check and they'll go shopping and everything's going to be okay. So I think it's this answer of just throwing money at everybody and hoping that people will forget about national and world and global issues because we'll just go shopping and everything is fine. So I think it's part satirical, political satire, if you will, and it's always la 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 la. Here's some money. It's like, take your money. It's a distraction. Go shopping. Everything will be all right. And shut up. La 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 la. Don't ask us. We're just, here, just go shopping and forget what's going on.
A distraction, like blowing up buildings or something like that.
And it'll be all right. So I think because it's very repetitive. It's never enough until you got all the stuff. When the going gets rough, just shop with somebody tough. And so it could also be allegorical for other things as well, depending on how you take it. But I'm very curious to see, it's very tongue-in-cheek to me of ignore what's going on. It's kind of like when we say we shop for retail therapy. I need a little retail therapy today. So I went to, Filene's Basement. No, I went to Kohl's. You got some, used my points, did some retail therapy, and I feel so much better with this pair of shoes that's just going to sit in my closet for a while. But I think that it's more of a dig at, what is going on in our country on occasion. And it could be a dig with, just forget about all of the problems that are going on and go spend money and shop and contribute to the economy so there are many facets you could take this. I think. I don't know which one is right because I don't know. Steven won't come on our show. Come on our show, Steven. Someday. That'd be great.
He has made a statement about which one's right.
The shopping with someone tough must be the USA.
Oh, and I searched and searched. So I'm curious because I did do some digging and I'm curious because JD obviously found some stuff I couldn't find.
I don't dig anything.
JD, do you want to share what you know?
I will. I'm a little worried that I'm wrong, but I think that might just be my general feelings about life.
Do you want a video clip to give a hint?
Sure, let's get this. Yeah.
All right.
But if I'm right, I don't want to be like, yeah, I was right, and then everyone will be like, oh, you're just saying that. So
okay, you know what? Give your ideas, and then I will give the video clip.
My recollection is very similar. Oh, I know what clip you're going to play. You're going to play President Bush saying the thing about going shopping. Is that the clip you're going to play? Because Heidi was basically spot on that President George W. said something like that after 9/11. I think it was basically talking about trying to get the economy back up and going. Like you said, like, well, if everyone just goes shopping, things are going to be all right. Like some statement like that. And Steve was like, or Kev was like, well, that's dumb. And so, or maybe to put it more kindly, disagreed with the idea, and the song was born.
I love the way
just
that
making
Kevin.
this up, JD. After you saw the video,
I love the way that Kevin disagrees.
The American people have got to go about their business. We cannot let the terrorists achieve the objective of frightening our nation to the point where we don't conduct business.
so eloquent.
People don't shop. That's their intention.
Is it?
Their intention was not only to kill and maim and destroy. Their intention was to frighten to the point where our nation would not act.
Based on what research?
Their intention was to so frighten our government that we wouldn't seek justice.
All right, where's the shopping?
That somehow we would cower in the face of their threats.
You talked
not
over
respond.
Yeah, you talked
Abroad
over
or
it
at home.
earlier.
But hold on.
But wait, there's more.
Going back to Steven's newest song of Doubling Down, a couple months later, Bush wasn't happy enough with his first statement. And so he had this wonderful statement to make.
The recent report on retail sales shows a strong beginning to the holiday shopping season across the country. And I encourage you all to go shopping more. Next year marks a new start with a new Congress.
God bless his soul.
By the way, can I just say how much he aged in just that 1 month?
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
that
with all
poor
due
man.
respect, though, we had a huge
It was a-
national attack on.
It
our
was
country.
probably the hardest thing that it's easily the hardest month of his life.
It was a bad month.
And I've lost family members, so due to that. So I just, with all due respect,
It was a bad month. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It was a bad month.
It's really good that he alleviated federal income taxes that year so that we could go shopping. Oh, wait, he didn't, did he? Oh, that sucks. They still got paid.
Yeah, so that was his actual statement, is like, they wanted us to stop shopping. You need to go out and shop.
You know, I've always thought that he seemed like a good guy, just maybe, not in the right position. And I just feel like you could hear him, especially in the first statement, I would say, kind of grasping at straws, like trying to figure out what to say in that moment. And so, like, I really don't have any blame for him to say it, because I think it was one of those sound bites that could very easily be taken and ran with. Now, the second one felt like a double down for sure, but I feel like he's looking for what to say, and that comes out. And
I think that he was in a really tough position at the time where, America got scared really badly the day after 9/11, and everyone stayed in, and no one wanted to go out, and the economy tanked. Because,
what was the date of that first video? Was that on the 12th, or was that
October 11th? So 1 month.
That was the first
after.
one. Okay, a month after. Got it. Okay.
But I mean, the economy tanked. Like, no one was taking airplanes. People were avoiding going out. It was a really hard time in America. And also, Stephen and band have also come out and said it wasn't just the U.S. that was making statements about go out, shop. A lot of the different nations were also making the same thing. I'm sure that his administrative people were like, we need to encourage people to go back out and restart the economy. Can you go do that? And you could tell in the clip, he had no script. he had points, and he was clamoring and like, where do I go with this? I think I want to say this.
And I do feel like the song to me is, I feel like these points, because like you said, it wasn't just the US doing it. I think that was the impetus of the song. I think looking at larger scale, it's a song on like capitalism. It's a song about how we generally, it's not just about this. It's a very wide has a wide berth of what it could be talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be talking about stimulus checks in 2020, 2021. You could be talking about anything that the fix is go buy more things.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it goes back to the song on the last album of Sell, Sell, Sell. Like they're into this, like, yeah, like commercialism isn't all of that. Like we over rely on it and we use it to hide things and to hide our pain.
Well, we embed it though as a culture from the time our children are younger. We bribe our kids to do things like we don't in my house. But how many times do you see in the grocery store, if you're really good through this whole grocery store trip, I'll get you a candy bar at the end. Or or if you bring home good grades, you get $1 for every A, which is bullcrap. I'm sorry. You get you get good grades because you're supposed to, that's your job. In school, you're supposed to, do your homework and do what you're supposed to do in school. Now, granted, you're talking to a college professor here who believes firmly in education, but you don't pay your kid for getting that's, and then it's like, well, if you're really good and you don't mess up this semester, we'll buy you a car. And then it's, you get to college and you've got credit card companies trolling kids in the hallways, which is why, I mean, all of us in the early 90s, because that's when it really boomed in the early 90s, when we're in college for the first time and they're like, here's a credit card. And you're like, oh, yay. And then you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, first day that you walk into the student union.
10 years later, you're still trying to pay it off. Because they're like, you can fix everything with this magic little piece of plastic. Yeah. And even now, like you were right, JD, whether it's stimulus checks or anything else, we are a culture that thrives on stuff. We are a culture.
Because finances are not taught in school. These kids aren't prepared to do basic things.
Well, you're right. And I teach college kids that I wouldn't trust in a zombie apocalypse to save my life. I mean, would they be able to process chickens like we did in my backyard a couple of weeks ago? No. Would they be able to garden and farm and take care of themselves if the economy collapsed? No.
God, I hope not.
I mean,
God, I want this population thinned out.
I know, right? I mean, but that's the thing, is they're so reliant on things like the phones. Phones are so expensive, but you got to have the iPhone 14 now, and you've got to have
Oh, you do? I didn't get the memo.
I don't have an iPhone. but and that's not to say I mean I like material things too. I mean, I like my stuff, but it doesn't make things better. In fact, there have been studies that have shown that retail therapy, it feels really good as soon as you do it. And then you start to have that regret piece, like, oh man. And you put the clothes in the closet and you don't wear them and you keep the tags on them because you're like, ugh, if I take the tags off, then I know I have it. But you're not going to bring it back. And I don't know if it's the same for men. Maybe it's a female perspective here, because retail therapy is definitely a more female phenomenon. You don't hear men very often going, retail therapy, I'm going to go buy a PS4. But you do,
well, I was going to say,
because those are big one-time purchases. A girl can get away with going to Kohl's and spending a couple $100 on clothes because you get a lot of things for that.
Well, we just buy different things.
And I was going to say,
I buy a framing nailer.
Yeah,
right. I mean, right.
Well, and in college, what did I spend all my money on? CDs and movies. That was my big go-to thing. And I mean, they're useless now because you can stream everything, and iTunes, you have to buy all your stuff and can't listen to it unless you have. But I still have all my movies back there. I still have all my CDs back there. It was me going out and buying a new CD every week was not unheard of. I loved my music. I loved to watch things and have things, and it felt good to buy those things. And then afterwards I was like, all right, so what's the next new thing that I need to have? I want to have.
It wears off.
It does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I suppose it kind of boils down to, well, not boils down, but I mean, it includes also delayed gratification. As I'm getting older, I've been thinking about the traditional mindset of the older generation, how you would work hard for 60 some odd years and then retire. The newer generation and the younger money, they have a different mindset that I'm trying to wrap my brain around. And that's a matter of, you're not going to be able to do what you need to do when you're 65 or 70. So intermix your life currently with some of those mini retirements, quote unquote, some of those things that you want to do, so that you're able to do them. That fits into the whole shopping category because it's life experiences that you're shopping for, not necessarily items. Going on that trip or going to see Machu Picchu or Banff or New Orleans or whatever it might be, Las Vegas, and experiencing life to its fullest versus holding back. And I can see after 9/11 how people would be very reluctant to want to continue their lives and live their lives. And that's the aspect I think that they're really kind of focusing on when it comes to shopping, is not necessarily the getting of things, but the living aspect of it.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Stefan. I think that's a very good point. Returning to normalcy, I think, well, post COVID, even going to the grocery store was kind of a treat. Well, not post COVID, but even during COVID, leaving your house. And we all live in more rural areas, right? Like, well, I live in a super rural area where we have one grocery store. We don't have Uber Eats or DoorDash or any of that. So these people that were in major cities that had the ability to have delivery, we don't have any food delivery in our town.
20-minute drive to the shopping center.
So you had to go and you still felt like I can't be normal because you'd go into a store and even with a mask on, if you had a dry throat and coughed, you felt like you were breaking the law. Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
That was cool.
Anyway, but so I think you're right, Stefan, in a way that it was, for us, the term shopping equaled normalcy in getting back to normal. Live your life, do your stuff. Don't worry that they're going to blow up the Hoover Dam, or don't worry that they're going to blow up the Super Bowl during the football game. Like, don't worry about those things. You can't live your life in fear. So just go. And I think we equate the word shopping with normalcy. Maybe that's it.
But in the song, they also,
there's pros and cons to both.
In the song though, they actually bring out that it takes on that extreme position eventually if you let it. It's never enough until you've got all the stuff. Like, you've got to get it all. You've got to get there and have everything. Yeah. And then, of course, they take it in.
They could have been directing that towards the United States as a whole, because Canada, they're not considered a tough nation, and they would consider the United States as a shopping nation, and we are kind of self-proclaimed as tough. We try to do things that tough guys would do, or tough people would do. Maybe they're referring to the United States.
I mean, every time I think of this song, I think of Jingle All the Way. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to make a video of this week, and I just didn't have the time to do so. But that line, when it going gets rough, shop with somebody tough, I'm like, that is Jingle All the Way. Like, the movie itself, the whole entire movie is centered around that.
Makes me want to see it now. With Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I will shop till you drop.
But it is a sickness, and even the DSM is recognizing that it is a sickness. It is an addiction to go shopping, to along with gambling.
I think there are benefits to the recent COVID outbreak that couldn't have been created any other way, and that benefit is being able to be happy and satisfied with less. And not being able to go out and do nearly as many things. You learned how to appreciate.
You need to lay off the burrito, Stefan.
Family,
Jeez.
how to be able to communicate, appreciate music, appreciate going outside, appreciate. Sorry about that. The dog's awake. I know. Only if you knew. Okay, so
I would like to say that you were right, Stefan, but then again, I went to Black Friday last year. It's the first time I've gone to Black Friday in a long time.
That's pretty racist.
And in doing so, yeah, that mentality of I have to get mine in spite of and over the need of you getting whatever it is that you need, and competitiveness has not gone away.
No.
There are sometimes on Black Friday where people
does that as a whole.
Like when I went to Black Friday back in my 20s and 30s, like there was a camaraderie. You'd talk with the people in line and you'd build up, like, yeah, especially up here in Maine, like it wasn't like pushing people out of the way, which it can be in some of the other areas where it becomes this big riot. And here in Maine, you connected with the people in line, and then you're like, as you pass them in the store, you'd be like, oh, you were looking for that thing, and they moved it over to this aisle, like, and helping each other. That was gone this year. Like, people were just vicious again.
No kidding.
It was really sad.
People shanking people in the aisles, huh?
It had that feel, honestly. Like
prison rule shopping,
but there was that just level of anger that was in the air. So I wish I could say that you were right, but I don't.
Wow.
I don't think it is. I think it's still there.
I don't know. Maybe it's pent up aggression from like a year or two of being inside. But that's just, we can't attest for everybody, mind you. And your experience might have been isolated to your particular region. I don't know, but
fuck you.
But I'm sure it's been happening all over the place. What? I didn't hear that.
Probably for the best.
Probably best I didn't. Yeah. Whatever, man. Whatever. I mean, I don't go to Black Fridays because why? I mean, it's ridiculous. I go shopping for Christmas gifts in January and February when everything's on clearance. So it's like, duh. This just makes more sense to me, and then I store them away in my attic or in my closet and completely forget why I got it for, and then I'm like, what the heck is this thing? So
yeah, it doesn't work so well with kids. Kids, we're gonna celebrate Christmas in February this year.
You know what I was in I think it was a Wally World or something way back. I think I was probably it was a long time ago, and I was in line, and it was like right after Christmas. It was before New Year's, so it was in that period after Christmas, before New Year's. And I'm standing there and they're buying, like, there's this family and they're buying Christmas decorations and presents and everything. And they said they celebrate Christmas after Christmas because then they can afford to get everything at 50% off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's smart. It was wicked smart.
So I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to bring us to tonight's ratings. How about that?
Is there a trouble with Tracy?
Okay, yeah, there is. Thank you for reminding me. There is the reason that I didn't like this song early on, and to be honest, the reason I can only play it like once before it starts to wear down on me again, is the repetitiveness of it. I played it once with the kids in the car, and then I went to go replay it again just to kind of hear more stuff. And the kids were like, "Really, Dad? Oh." And I think that's kind of the same feeling that I get with this song, because it's so repetitive. It's hard to listen to, for me at least, more than once.
Apples don't fall far from the tree.
No. They're all bruised the same in my family.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I as a person who likes I don't know, not necessarily, who doesn't like chaos. I'll just word it that way. I don't like chaos. The beginning of the song was a little bit funky for me. And then I'm like, okay, there's a pattern here. And it's like, it's a repetitive pattern. And for me, that was stabilizing. I like the stabilization of that.
Well, why don't we put some numbers to our feelings on this song? Because of the commercialism that is kind of put around this song, I'm going to ask us, and especially because they're kind of making a little bit of a stab at America more than anything else with this, America. And them tourists. I'm going to have us rank it on how many malls of America do we give this song?
Oh, Or how my bushes.
Nope, we're going with Malls of America.
The Malls of America. Okay, good. Because you know me, I take that into a bad area. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Stefan, how many Malls of America do you give this song?
I found myself kind of jamming to the song and like nodding my head to it. I'm like, all right, this isn't bad. I like the synth. I like the 80s. Like I said, I thought of immediately Stranger Things season 2, which I think is just top notch. And it's like going into the malls, like the whole era of it is like it brought a lot of flashbacks, the non-traumatic flashbacks, mind you. But and it was great. I love that. So I could listen to this. I'd put on my playlist, and I thought it was pretty decent for me because it was regular. It was fun. It was synth. It was layered. The lyrics were super simple. I could understand what he was saying. For me, that's important because I've got issues. So for me, I'm going to rank this fairly high. For me, I'd say about 4.5, I think, is pretty decent for me. I mean, that's
up there.
That sounds good. I really like that.
Heidi, how many Malls of America do you give this song?
I like this song a lot. It's bouncy, it's tongue in cheek, it's bananas. It's got energy to it. I love the music part of it in terms of instrumentation and creativity. It's not my top, but it does give me a Muppet feel to it. Like it makes me dance like a Muppet. And so the Muppet factor, which I've discussed several times on this show, is very important to me. It makes I just kind of feel like a Muppet. I'm going to give it a 4.6.
Wow! Don't make me the hater in this.
Oh, I don't think you will be, my dear.
I don't think you will be.
Okay. Jeez. I might be. Oh, no.
I agree with you, Tracy, on the repetitiveness, but I love when it dips into that smooth, like sultry 70s disc. It's always la 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 la.
Yeah, it changed, didn't it? It changed at kind of closer to the end, didn't it?
Yeah. La 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 la.
I don't like
that section. Just kind of, and then it brings you back up. It's got some good highs and lows.
I like that section, but there's that background techno electronica, like call and answer. No, the call and answer where you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's offbeat, and it just that one rankles me a little bit too. JD, what do you think? How many Malls of America do you give this song?
I don't think I'm not as big of a fan of it as you two are. I like the message, right? I like what they're trying to say with it. I think it's very, very on brand for them. One thing we didn't hit on is that it's funny that it feels very like I think of the Pinch Me music video where everyone's smiling the entire time, where like there's like that sort of the vibe that like put on a fake smile, a plastic smile, and I think the music has that upbeat synthiness to match the tone of the lyrics. I like that part of it. I love the slow kind of jazzy part that we were talking about, or like the lounge music part. I think the repetitiveness is intentional, but it kind of wears thin on me. And I think that I don't know. I have two random tangents I'm not going to go on, but I ultimately feel like it's maybe a little too, not even on the nose, but very try hard in its message, which just in this particular instance doesn't really gel with me. So there are aspects of it I like. If they ever played it live, I would be excited now because it's been enough time that they haven't in a few years. So I like the song, but thinking about it in the pantheon of BNL songs, to me, it's one of the lower points of Everything to Everyone. So I'm going to go with 2.6 Malls of America.
Okay.
Holy smokes. Right. Just above average.
Well, again, this is, if we think about that in the pantheon of music, most BNL songs are still on the higher side of the scale in terms of, Yeah. Final answer.
Final answer. Okay.
Okay.
So I would say that, okay, I'm going to rank this based off from hearing it once. If I were to repetitively listen to this song, my number would increasingly go down each time that I listen to it.
I see what you mean now. Okay, fair.
So I'm going to give it a score based on just a single listen, happens to pop up on my iPod player.
It's a small world after all. Oh, wait. Songs that go down and diminish after you listen to them. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just as much of an earworm. To me, yes, this is the Wrath of Khan earworm, or at least it used to be. It's become a little bit more of a babblefish these days, and I kind of enjoy it the first time. After that, no.
Yeah.
I will never seek this song out, though. I don't enjoy it that way. If it comes on, I'll be happy with it and enjoy it, but just I'm never going to seek it out because I'm like, oh, that's my favorite song ever. The other thing that I was kind of noticing that's kind of diegetic is that it's very Muzak-y, which of course is something that you would listen to in a store, especially that loungy part in the middle where it dips down. So I do kind of like that they're doing that, but I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Oh,
okay.
Not bad.
Hater.
Not bad. Yeah, well, JD, I'm usually the hater most weeks.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the rap this time.
So JD, are you saying sign me up?
God.
Before you go,
I'm always lulled into like a false sense of security, and more so I forget more than anything. I think once I was ready for it, not this time.
So Tracy, are you saying the "Sign Me Up" is the next song?
It is. Sort of.
Unbelievable. Good.
Yeah,
we're
sticking with the same album, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah. Is this Bare Naked Ladies Are Me?
No, we're still on Everything to Everyone next week, but it just never made it to the album.
We're not Stunt. We're not Maroon. We're not Snack Time.
I'll be marooned in the face after talking about next week's song. That's for sure.
Uh-oh. Gosh, it must be about constipation.
It was quite a stunt they pulled.
Okay.
Oh, bam. I don't know what that means. I just, reacted like a dude would, like.
So JD, is there anything that you would like to plug for people to listen?
Yeah, sure. So our podcast is finally back. It came back. I know, right? What was funny was Nick and I recorded the first. It's called Radical Face RS. It's season 3 of the RS universe. It's a band that Nick picked called Radical Face, one of his most favorite bands. But
really,
yeah, I actually went in. It's different because BNL. We've said this on our show. BNL is one we both loved. Our second season, Coldplay, was a one that I was a huge fan of. He was a decent fan of. Radical Face, it's one of his favorite bands. I've gone in kind of like you, not knowing anything about it. So like every time we listen to an album or prep for it, it's my first time through. But what happened was we had recorded our first episode and we wanted to have 2 or 3 in the can to release. And we recorded it, I think, in like mid-July. And I had to upload it to our distributor so he could listen to it easily. So I put some random date at the end of August on. And then at the end of August, I'm like, man, what date did I put the podcast to release on? Just ran and I looked and it was that day. So I called Nick and I'm like, hey man, funny story. The show went live like 3 hours ago. I said, there's only been about a dozen listeners at this point. We can pull it or we could just run with it. And we decided to just run with it. So 2 episodes are out now. Third one will be out the next week or so. But it's fun. It's a very different dynamic this time because like I said, I know nothing about the band going into it. And I'm listening for the first time every time. So Radical Face.
You're usually the one that does all the prep. And so this time Nick's the one that has to do all the prep.
Well, but the problem is that my prep, even if I'm doing prep, is very surface level. Like when we do Coldplay or BNL, like for shopping today, I listened to the song. I know it so well. I listened to it twice today because I just wanted to refresh it. So with Coldplay, I'm like, oh, I know these albums. I have to listen to these albums so many times for this series because it's brand new to me. So I have to have something to say and let it really seep in. So it's, yeah, Nick's research is so prepped and ready. I'm just like, ah, shit, I got to listen again today to get my favorite and stuff. So it's fun. I'm really enjoying it.
That's awesome.
I told Nick, I told him this already, so I don't feel bad saying it. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would because I was really worried that I wouldn't like the band and then it would kind of be a slog, but I'm really liking the music and I'm liking what all the freaking stuff that he's done to like prep for it. So yeah, it's fun.
When are you guys going to
look
do
it
the
up
mountain
when
goats?
we're done.
I mean, it's the easy go-to thing.
It is. The problem is they're my favorite band. It'd be such a commitment. I think Coldplay, their most recent album was their 9th album. BNL, I think, had 13 or 4. They're on like maybe 15 or 16 now. Yeah. Radical Face have 4. I think Mountain Goats have 20 studio albums, let alone EPs and stuff. So I would love it. I think what I might do, if we ever end up doing that, we already have a band in mind for the next one, but we might not do it. If we do Mountain Goats, I might have to do like an abridged first decade and then take the rest the next decade by like, album by album. But I would, yeah, I'm worried he'd get sick of it, but then I wouldn't have to shut up about the Mountain Goats because that's what the whole podcast would be about. So yeah, hopefully soon.
No, it's
That's
very
awesome.
It's a lot of fun listening to you guys talk about the albums.
Thanks. You said you had to pull over the other day, which made me happy. We're doing something right.
Oh yeah, so I was in my driveway and the traffic was horrible. I have this wonderful street where the traffic just does not let up in one direction or the other, and I had to go straight across. So I slammed on the gas to get across the street and through this little tiny hole between the cars. Think Frogger. And as soon as I did, I got on the other side. Nick goes, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, okay, that was just weird.
We became sentient. We're like, whenever you listen to our podcast now, we are live.
Yes.
So we saw you doing that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, watching.
Nick is in the back seat now for some reason.
Yeah, he's going, "What the fuck?"
So no, it is fun. I definitely recommend everyone go out and listen to that podcast.
Thank you.
I know that it is exposing me to Coldplay and to Radicalhead, bands that I really had never really listened to before. They were there, but I never listened to them.
Right.
So it's really cool to be like, all right, well, what do I think about that song? Oh yeah, no, that's not quite my feel, and here's why. But to hear you guys talk about it, but also be exposed to it's great.
Well, I think that's what's
Radical
fun.
Head or Radical Face?
Radical Face.
Face.
Radical Head would have been a
Radical
good
Face.
podcast name, though. What's been interesting with Radical Face has been or with the whole podcast, I think, because Coldplay, when we did them, they had the biggest fan base that we were tapping into with getting a lot of listeners from. And one of my favorite parts, it's the same thing that I love about doing this show, is that someone's favorite song is somebody else's least favorite song. Mm-hmm. And so I love that with BNL and Coldplay, and with Radical Face, it's the same thing where I think there's been one album so far that Nick and I had the exact same favorites and least favorites, which very rarely happens. Every other time it's like, oh, one of my least favorites is his favorites and vice versa and all that kind of stuff. So if you're listening and going, okay, I don't really care what their opinions are, but I like that song a lot, that means something's working. So yeah. And I feel like we got a good chance of actually getting the guy from Radical Face on the show. I think that this is going to be, just knowing how he interacts and stuff, Nick is I think we're going to try hard for that later this year. So
that'd be excellent.
Crossed. But we are going to do, at time of recording, Steve's new album comes out on Friday. And we're going to do like you said earlier, a fresh hot take on that probably next week. So I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be good.
To celebrate joining Pantheon Podcasts, Rock Camp, the podcast, the official podcast of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, is giving away a guitar signed by Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, Marty Friedman, formerly of Megadeth, and legendary shredder Zakk Wylde, plus our rockstar counselors like Vinny Appice, Monty Pittman, and more. To enter to win, simply follow, rate, and review our podcast on your preferred platform, and that's all you have to do. For more information, go to rockcamp.com/podcast.